Hey, welcome artists and art fans. Thank you guys for tuning into the only spot where we get to talk to your favorite artists about the trade, the tools, and their tips. I am your host, the real Zim Zima. You guys are on Chatting with Zim. This is episode number 58. For all you guys to know, just a little catch up. Make sure you guys are tuning in to Chatting with Zim on YouTube. Go follow the channel. Every episode is updated there, so make sure you catch Eating Cops Donuts. He was my last guest last Monday, so make sure you guys check him out. Also, special shout outs. I got Seven is Life. The homie is doing a new podcast coming out, just came out. Check it out. It's called Life with Seven, Show and Tell. I was episode 1 on that. So make sure you guys are hitting up 7_is_life and check out the IGTV there. Also make sure you guys are checking out Monsters Art Clan. Awesome community of artists. Make sure you guys are checking out monstersartclan.com. And also another special shout out to RTA, Respect the Artist, doing big things, and especially in the art community as well, interviewing a bunch of amazing artists, talented people. So make sure you guys are hitting them up. Dream Out Loud Art, she's part of the RTA fam, so make sure you guys are checking them out as well. Pretty awesome stuff for the community. Today's show, episode number 58, we got my boy all the way, I think the East Coast. We'll find out a little bit more about him exactly. You all guys know him, Samuel H. Dodson, aka the real Mr. D. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we finally have him. So let's go ahead, beam him up into this mothership, and today's sponsors: Modelo, drink responsibly. Just want to wind down? Make sure you
What's
drink
up?
your Modelo. What up, bro?
How's it going?
A little better now. Out of work, have a little beer. Definitely needed it over the weekend, but hey, on a Monday, why not, right?
Yeah, I'm on summer break, so I am off every day for the next 3 weeks.
Oh, dang. Let me take a wild guess. Teacher.
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
No,
Art.
wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me. My first guess, I want to say art teacher, but I will say no to that.
No,
Math.
art teacher.
Art teacher. Oh, man, that's even better, dude.
20 years,
That, that is awesome, man.
living the dream, living the
Yes.
dream.
Man, and then summer's off, dude.
Yeah, summer's off. We had 8 weeks off this summer, so we have 3 more left, which is great. It's sad when it
Yeah.
comes. It's really sad. It's painful.
For sure, man. Also, for all you guys that don't know, we got an awesome little collab me and Mr. D did. So definitely we got 2 of them.
I can't wait to see those.
Yeah, I think we're gonna show one a little bit later, and then we'll save the big one for last, man.
I haven't
You
even
know?
seen.
Yeah, he hasn't even seen them. It's he saw one of them,
I
but
saw.
it
Yeah,
wasn't fully done.
done.
So first of all, man, thanks for coming on, dude. Greatly appreciate your time here, bro.
Definitely. I've been.
Uh,
Oh, I enjoy it.
and thanks again for sending that package and the art collab. That ish is very dope, man. I don't really do a lot of collabs. I want to do a little bit more this year, but so we're good. We're off to a great start, I guess.
Yeah, it's a fun habit to get into. To like, once you've like traded and made a lot of stuff, it's fun to kind of like do stuff with other people.
No, for sure, dude. That is one of the things that I often say, man. It's just to network out there and make sure you guys are doing collaborations, getting to know other artists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rather it be online or in real life. Uh, obviously with this whole pandemic thing going on, all these art walks and cons have been kind of canceled. So, you know,
Yeah, y'all should do something like that for Monsters Art Clan competition. Should do like a collab competition, have some of y'all work together and do some stuff.
oh, dude, man, that you know what? I never even thought about that.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be cool.
yeah, that would be gnarly, dude.
You should have like a raffle.
Collab battle.
You shouldn't be able to pick teams though. You should have like a what do you call it? Like a draft. You get like a draft order and you get to pick who you want to work with.
I think it would be just better if we blind pick everything.
Or blind pick, yes. To make it fair.
You know what I mean? Not just fair, but it'll be a whole new avenue for everybody. Everybody has weaknesses and strengths and different styles, so it's going to be amazing just trying to bring two of them together. Great idea. I will bring it up.
Yeah, I like working with people. It's fun. It's fun. It brings
Oh yeah,
stuff
it's
out
very good.
bring out of yourself.
No, for sure, dude. So how's your day been?
It's been good so far. It's been good so far. Getting the good thing about being off for the summer is like you get a lot of stuff done that you've been wanting to get done. So that's kind
Mm.
of what I gotta focus on and work out a little bit more. I've had a really, really bad back for a couple of years. So I just started going to the what do you call him? The back doctor, like
Mm.
what's his name? The chiropractor.
Chiropractor? Yeah.
Yes. To the chiropractor. When you get old, man, you gotta take care of yourself. So
Yeah, definitely doing that right now. You know? Look at that. Look at how I take care of myself.
yeah, it catches up to us all at once. Look, my vice is food. It is definitely not liquor. It's food,
No,
man.
no.
I love me some
Yeah,
food.
man. If I stand up, I'm a lover of food as well, man. So
So
I'm
that's
I'm a join you on that boat, man.
but you know, trying to especially with COVID and stuff, even when we start, we'll be home a lot more. So just trying to fit that stuff into my like regular regimen moving forward. Exercising more, doing yoga, meditating, so that people don't get on my nerves.
Man, I can meditate all day then. If that's the case.
Try to draw more. That's a big one. It's just trying to stay artistically creative is kind of that can be a challenge. Like people think with teachers, we work so much all the time that sometimes it's actually pretty hard to like create stuff.
Oh man. Well, I mean, let's get into it, man. First off, thanks everybody for tuning in. Whoever's in here. Uh, we got Spider Hazard, Marcus Holes, K Soul Music, Ken Leo, and No Mop Required. I
No
hope
map.
I said it.
New, it's a new friend of mine there.
Oh, No Map Required. There you go. I read it wrong. Totally wrong.
Individuals in here.
Man, so bless us with the origins of the talented Mr. D, man.
It's really funny actually. We were and one of my old jobs, they make you do those like different activities with the people that you work with. And they're like, if you could if you could name yourself after a movie, what movie would you name yourself after? I was like, this is bullshit. I wouldn't name myself after no. This is a bullshit activity. Um, but then I was like, the Talented Mr. Ripley was always a cool movie like that I liked. So I was like, well, I guess I would name myself Talented Mr. D. And then when I started like drawing stickers and stuff, I was like, man, I should use that nickname. I think I'm just gonna go with that. It wasn't stupid at all. And it kind of just
No, man, that's dope. That's I thought it was just you were Mr. Dodson, the talented Mr. Dodson. That's pretty dope.
Well, I mean, everyone. It's funny. I guess I am older than most of the people that I work with a lot of the time, but it doesn't really matter. Even people who are my age, people always call. They don't. Very few people call me like Sam. They always call me like Mr. D from teaching, or like in that old job, it was Mr. Sam. So everyone always calls me like Mister, like the old person. So it does stick because people still kind of refer to me in that way. But it's cool. It's cool. I don't mind. But in my current classroom, they call me Baba Sam. Um, Instead of Mr. Dodson, they call me Baba Sam.
Baba Stan.
Yeah.
And what about your whole art thing? I mean, what what got you into art in the first place, man? I mean, tell us
I
that
mean,
backstory, man.
art has art. I probably like for most people, art has always been like like everyone has a relationship with art. Like you have a relationship with it.
Hmm.
It was always the thing that I did when I was a kid. I would draw and draw and draw, and I would do art competitions and do pretty well and draw. And I just liked doing it. I like being able to look at something and then like make it, but make it in a way that like I want to make it. So like I've always had a relationship with art in that way. Comic books and when I was younger, it was comic books and games and Garfield and cartoons. It's like
Oh
taking
yeah.
the world that you appreciate, and like the highest form of appreciation is like spending time on something and like interpreting it and bringing it to life like through your own eyes. And so I would always just do it and do it and do it. But when I went to school, I actually majored in pre-med when I went to college. But I think I did it mostly because we were struggling when I was a kid. So I was like, I want to be rich. But it
Where?
didn't. It didn't work out though. It just you can't go do something because money is involved. I think you have to really love something if you're gonna stick through it. And so I ended up being a philosophy major, which is why I do the thinker stickers. I love philosophy and thinking,
Ah,
and
oh,
I minored
okay,
in
yeah,
art
that makes sense.
because I changed so late. I ended up minoring in art, um, but that's what my life pretty much revolves around art. I'm always drawing something.
How old were you when, or yeah, how old were you when you picked up your first pencil? Like,
Oh, I was
well, I
really
mean, besides the whole kindergarten thing, the whole
no,
classroom thing.
really young when I drew in middle school. I used to draw, like when we had trapper keepers and stuff. I used to
Mm.
draw people's names and like put it inside of the little plastic thing. I would charge them like $5 to draw their names. So like when I was in middle school, for sure, like even in elementary school, I would do art. We had monthly art competitions, and I remember winning the competition for like drawing the Statue of Liberty, something like
Oh,
that.
dope.
So I mean, no, art as for as long as I can remember, because my students asked me that too. Like, how long have you drawn? I was like, for as long as I can remember, I've drawn. Like it's my mom would. I remember being at the kitchen table with my little brother and just drawing on weekends, and he would sit there with me and draw because I was drawing.
Does anybody else in your family draw?
No one draws. No one draws, but like my mom is really crafty. She's very good
Mm.
with like sewing and all that other stuff. She's very crafty. Um, I hear tell that my uncle was pretty good at drawing, but he stopped. And then an uncle that I really haven't ever met. I hear he can draw really, really well, and a lot of people
Oh,
say that's one of the things that we share is that we both are very good at art.
what would you say was the main thing that inspired you to actually start drawing, dude?
Man, I mean to start because everybody, I as a teacher, it is my of art. It is my belief that it is everyone's first way of talking and communicating. So I think
Mm.
everyone starts art I think what has made me keep drawing, it changes from time to time. Like I started because I loved like Georgia O'Keeffe and Vincent Van Gogh. I loved like classical artists, and then I think I kept going after going to like San Francisco and seeing like graffiti and like art on walls, like art changing because
Mm.
you have the same stagnant relationship with something. It's not something that's gonna continue. Like it's gonna die. So keeping that relationship alive is really important to me.
Oh, word, man. What's your favorite medium?
My favorite medium, I think. Well, right now, that's also odd because I think someone who teaches art probably works with a lot of stuff, even if like it's not their natural stuff. My most natural medium is probably pencil. Now, probably marker because I'm pretty good with marker. I love marker. It's easy and fast and rewarding. Um, but my favorite medium probably has to be gouache. It's like I love
Oh
gouache.
yeah.
I love it so much right now, and I'm probably gonna like take a break from marker for a while so that I can really commit myself to playing with gouache a little bit more. Yeah, I love
Nice.
that. It's like it has the speed and responsiveness of marker, but the flexibility because it is a paint of like has the flexibility of acrylic without all the weighting. Like I hate
Oh,
weighting.
word.
I never learned how to paint. I'm kind of teaching myself how to do it, but it's making me a better like draftsman. Painting will make you a much better like person to draw things.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
Yeah,
gouache is pretty good. I recently got into it too, man. I think at the
it's
beginning of the
nice.
year. Yeah, yeah. It's I like to put it any I say it's between it's a mix of like oil mixed with like watercolor.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to explain, but the end result is amazing. I like it better than acrylics.
Oh
So
yeah. Do you use
yeah,
regular gouache or do you use acrylic gouache? Because I use
I
gouache and I love it.
oh man,
Oh,
I
it's a,
yeah. Let me see. Let me go ahead and answer that question really quick here. I actually listened. Uh, yeah, it's acrylic gouache actually.
most people who like gouache right. That's what I use. Liquitex.
Yep.
Yeah. Most people who like gouache right off the back are using acrylic gouache because it's not dull, like it's very vibrant, and it doesn't reactivate when you put water. It's waterproof. Yeah, that's definitely like my favorite medium because it's like it has the properties of using both like paint and like a marker.
Now, as far as Instagram, are you exclusive to Instagram, or can we find you elsewhere, man? I know you got a Etsy page, so make sure you guys are checking that out at etsy.com/shop/the talented Mr. D.
I gotta work on my Etsy page. Yeah, I do have. I gotta work on like posting, taking the pictures and posting stuff there because so many times people will just get to me from Instagram, and I'll never actually post the stuff on the Etsy page. But
That's it.
I'm gonna try to like get it set up and get it going and keep it updated. But I was telling someone I was like, it's just as much work to like list stuff on Etsy as it is to like draw something. It takes just as much time.
Oh yeah, you're right about that. I literally just joined it about a week ago. I put
Yeah,
up my first post over the weekend, and we were asked. I felt like I was being interrogated, bro. You know what I mean?
yeah. It takes a while. It gets
He's
it
like,
gets it gets faster the more you do it, but it takes a while to do it. And I don't know. I know that there are a lot of people who are really really motivated to like get on there to sell their work. Um, and I just don't have that motivation. So I have to do it just for a more long range plan. But it's something that I have to like make an effort to do consciously.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be something simple like I don't know, like Craigslist or not Craigslist. Yeah, Craigslist or OfferUp, Facebook
Yeah,
Market. But now, man, these guys want everything. What's the size of the box? How much does it weigh? I don't know. You know,
yeah,
the hell am I? Are you a human scale here? You know,
yeah. They have a lot of questions for you.
what's in the box? Where are you going? Where's it coming from? And I don't know.
Yeah, people don't
How
realize
many
it.
kids?
It's a
What's your
lot going.
social security? I'm sorry.
There's a lot going on, and you have to like you got to ship stuff. It's just a lot, and you got to figure out like after you actually sell something, how much money you're gonna make if you like didn't factor in shipping, or or shipping is more expensive than you thought it was gonna be. I was like, man, this is a lot.
Oh, for sure, man.
But
Now let's cut. Uh huh.
I was gonna say I do really love like trading and stuff. So that's like I spend a lot more time like working on that stuff than I do on like the business end of it.
So take us a little bit more into that, man. I mean, what is it about trading? Is it just the networking that you're into, or?
Nah, I think man, I don't know like everyone's experience with trading, but
Mhm.
there are so many like amazing artists on Instagram, and
Oh yeah.
if people are on Instagram and they're sharing their work, whether they're selling their work or they're trading their work, they're doing it for like the love of doing it. And is every time I've traded with someone, uh, they've just done me right. Like they hooked me up with stuff, sent me amazing artwork, and when you go in to buy something, like you buy it, you walk out, and you have like this thing. But every time I buy something from an Instagram artist, they're always sending me like extra stuff, or hooking me up with something that's like really amazing, or just a really cool person, and they're really
Yeah.
inspirational. And so, for me, trading has been like a great way to just build really great like relationships with people and really understand the community that is like sticker making, street art, whatever you want to call it. It's a really cool community of people. And what I like is the openness of people, but it's also kind of interesting that like someone else, like my friend or someone, can come over to the house and see something that's really cool, and like I'd be like, oh yeah, I just got it from this guy on Instagram, you should hit them up. And then but it doesn't really work that way all the time. Like a lot of people on
Hmm.
Instagram want you to be part of like a culture and a community, and then they're like, oh yeah, they'll be a lot more open. So there's a lot of people who I communicate with now that when I first started out like 10 years ago, they were just people that I was like looking up to and being like, oh man, I want to get to know this person. Their work is amazing. And now like to have like really great friendships with some of these people it's a really like cool and inspiring thing. It's the kind of community you want like in your face to face interactions that you can get, but for some reason it isn't as it doesn't happen with people outside of the community as well as it does sometimes with people in the community. So I
No,
like the
yeah, and
of it myself. I
mm,
think it's an amazing community of very talented people who are all very passionate, and a lot of them would do this. Even the people who do it to make money, a lot of them were doing it before they made money, and they would do it if they didn't make money, and they would find another way to make money because this is what they're passionate about.
no, definitely, man, and there's, huh? I mean, as far as when it comes to people, in the community and whatnot, how you're addressing them and stuff.
You know, there's obviously people that are just in it for the money, dude. I've seen people, especially coming up on TikTok. It's a cool little platform. I'm not really on it. Don't like the whole uh, network frame behind it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never. I mean, I know that there are, and I know what TikTok is because I teach kids. I have never used. I've never
Yeah,
used, and I have no understanding of how it's like it pushes a brand, but I guess you can do that with any social media, like any platform. It's kind of like push your brand and develop all that stuff. But no, I
yeah.
mean, there's there's a lot of really amazing artists. Like on
There is.
There's a lot of amazing. Is that what's gonna say? Laugh a lot. I can be rich with my stuff. I don't care. I'm, I, I'm with you. I'm with you, brother. Yeah, I mean, I could be drawing on paper and do a lot of other things. Like there's a lot of other ways I could do stuff with art, but I'm fortunate to be a teacher, and that's where I make my money. I make my money with my job. Drawing
Yeah,
stickers, I love. It's just something I do because I love to do it, and I love to exchange work with people and get other people's work. And I love it when I first started trading, and like I saw people who were really talented, and like maybe they didn't want to trade with me, but most people did. I love being able to do that too. For people to be like, "Oh, I really like your work. Will you trade?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I'll trade. Yeah, let's do that."
yeah, all right, sure.
That's
Now,
why I mean, I'm that person who someone said yes to, and now I'm like still doing stickers and drawing and doing stuff in the community, and I think that's a really cool thing.
no word. Vinny D said, our drives him, and money and being able to draw something special is really a blessing and a bonus. No, it
It
definitely is, man.
it is. It's a real. It's look. Anytime anyone hits you up, because people normally will hit you up and be like, "Yo, are you selling this? Hey, will you buy it? Like, can I buy something?" And you're like, that it's an amazing thing. Like something so much that you created that they want to buy something. That's it's an amazing feeling. It might not be why I do something or why I did it, but it definitely is a cool validation at the very least for someone to really like something that you're doing and want to pay for it and hang it up in their house and do all that stuff. That's cool.
Yep, yeah, man. Shout out to
But I couldn't
Thalo. Just joined the.
imagine. I told Thalo that when I first saw his name, I thought it was Tha Lohalo, like a Hawaiian name, Tha Lohalo.
Hello,
So when I
hello.
talk to him,
Hey, what's
I
up,
call
man?
him Lohalo instead of Thalo Halo.
Yeah, I thought it was Thalo Hollow, you know. But I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, the stuff that comes in our heads, it doesn't always make sense, but it's there.
Now, being an art teacher, man, that's pretty cool, man. You're the I think the first art teacher I've ever had the pleasure to interview and stuff, man.
Really?
You know? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. I
it's a dream job. It really is. They pay me to do that. They pay
Yes.
me to do that. It's great.
What's what range do you teach?
I well for the last man for the last like 16, 17 years I was teaching middle school. No,
Okay.
19 years I was taught middle school. Last year was my first year teaching high school. And so it was cool though because I got to teach a lot of the kids that I taught in middle school. So it was a good transition for me. Um, so now I teach for that year. I was only teaching ninth and 10th grade. Now I teach the kids who I taught like in seventh and eighth grade. I'll be teaching in their DP art class in 11th grade, and they'll be in my class for. I'll be with them for the next 2 years until they graduate. So I'll teach 9th, 10th, and 11th now.
Okay, cool. Now, out of all these kids that you teach, man, are any of them showing any promise?
Oh man, the kids are talented. Like the kids, a lot of some of them come into class and they're like, um, I had an art teacher before. Nobody could teach me how to draw. I'm like, man, teaching you how to draw is easy. Teach you how to be an artist is hard, but teaching you how to draw is easy. And then they proceed to learn how to draw because it's easy to teach someone how to draw. It's hard to teach someone how to be an artist, but it's very easy to teach someone how to draw. It's not a very difficult thing.
Elaborate on that. You know, that's a pretty that's a nice little concept that you know, it's easy
Well,
to
I mean,
man. You need that on a shirt, bro.
I wonder how many people think that like art is a God-given gift. Art is just the elements of art. It's shape and line and color and like teaching people the fundamentals of like how to draw a shape and then how to use shapes to draw forms and how to use light and shadow to shade in your forms and like how to practice. Like it's just fucking practice. If you practice every day,
Mm.
it doesn't even matter what you're doing, right? Your hands
Hmm.
and your brain align. If you just practice, the more you draw, the better you get. It's really just that simple. So
Yeah.
if you start with fundamentals, it's easy to teach kids fundamentals, and once they see themselves getting better, they're like, "Oh, damn, you were right." I was like, "Yeah, I was right." Like I can teach you how to draw now. Taking those things and like making art is hard as fuck. Like that's hard,
Oh yeah.
really hard. How to fill a blank piece of paper, how to the difference between drawing something from reference and drawing something out of your head. Like those are I wonder at. I love watching people who can just like draw stuff straight out of their head. They've been drawing references of things for so long that they don't even need a reference. They just draw stuff out of their head. That's hard.
Are
That's a
are
whole
you are you an imaginary drawer or are you a reference artist or?
reference artist. I love reference pictures, but like
Mhm.
I told my photographer friend that maybe it's because I always just wanted to be a photographer. Like I like drawing portraits, like photorealistic portraits. How much no matter how much you suck or practice, you can get decent. Yeah. No, I'm a reference drawer. I like looking at reference pictures. And quite honestly, Instagram is not really probably the perfect place, or maybe like I'd have to start a different account with a different group of people looking at my artwork if I wanted to like explore the kind of like non-objective art that I like might be really attracted to.
Mm.
So I don't I think Instagram is a really good place for a certain type of art. Even some of the
Hmm.
strongest artists on Instagram, most of them are aside from being an abstract artist, are like photorealistic artists. People have really really strong technique, like amazing technique.
Okay.
But I am a reference artist. I like looking at things. I'm getting much better now at kind of like turning them, looking away from things and just like because I've drawn with reference recently for so long and took a portraiture class. But I like portraits, so it doesn't matter. Like I'm not really that interested in like creating my own stuff. I love portraits and drawing portraits and painting portraits. And for stickers, I guess people often they're just like they just say character drawer because I just like drawing characters. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
attracted to. I like to do.
Dope. Hey, well, dude, I think it's time to go ahead and showcase the first collab.
Anime.
Ooh.
Oh, my workspace is dope.
Man,
Yeah,
y'all ready for this?
I'll do a at some point. I'll
All
do a
right.
like of the workspace so that people can see the workspace and kind of like the basement floor. It's a pretty dope space.
No, man, we could definitely save that for next show as well. You know what I mean?
Realistic stuff. Ooh, yeah, I'm ready to see this. I want to see what the homie did with these collabs I
All
sent.
right.
I'm looking
So
forward to
let's
it.
go with the first one. The first one is Raphael. I hope that's Raphael and not just There you go. That's the talented Mr. D right there.
I
Awesome.
did.
Drum roll. I can drum roll with one hand. And let's go. I extended your bandana.
Yeah, I like that too. Oh, that's real nice. Damn, that purple. What did you use? What did you use for your side? What markers? Is that
I actually used the Ohuhu art markers.
those Ohuhu markers? I use those in my classroom because they're cheap.
So they, oh, they're cheap and they're dude. I've used Copics, I've used Prismas. The Ohuhus are right up there, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're good. They're good. The only issue with Ohuhu is you get random colors. So like you might need like a grayscale set from somewhere. Get a grayscale set, a good grayscale set. But other than that, like the Ohuhus, they remind me of the what are these things called? The chart pack, the ad markers. They remind me of these. These are
Mm.
terribly and they're hazardous. So, but
Oh, dude.
they're cake like these.
So there you go. One more time. There you go.
Are real nice. I love that purple. Yeah, the
Thanks,
Ohuhu
dude.
markers. They're much more opaque than what do you call these? Than these Copic markers.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
people are gonna move away
I
from Copic markers.
are you?
Yeah, they made a big change recently with their refills. They're same price but only half the amount of refill.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, people are pretty much just recommending that if you need a new marker, just buy a new marker for the most part. And I was like, well, part of the attraction to Copics is that you can
The
refill
refill.
them.
Yeah, the
So,
capability.
you know, people will always look for a more affordable option, and if they don't have a differentiating factor, then. But no, Copics are great. They're great. They're expensive, and you got to get like the right paper and all that other stuff for them to look the way that they really like are worthy of looking. But if you get
Oh
all this,
yeah.
they're amazing. They are
Now
literally.
now that we're now we're on the subject, are you think Copics are overrated? Are they worth the price?
I don't think they're overrated, but like you have to understand that Copics were made for professional artists who have professional like jobs. So like they pay for themselves if you pay like $1,000 to get all of them, and you sell professional sells a Copic drawing, you're gonna sell that drawing for like $700, $600. So 2 or 3 drawings, and that's it. But like now, a lot of us are we're getting into drawing with them because they're great. But if you're not selling your work and you're buying Copics, it's it's not the purpose. They weren't made for that. You can get Dick Blick alcohol markers, the whole set for $200. Like that's really more. If you're not selling your work, then you get a different brand so that because there are brands that are comparable, particularly if you're not selling your work. So you can get some good stuff. A good artist can get good stuff with anything. Those
Yeah.
the ones that the Raphael that I sent, I did it with the Faber Castells. I love Faber Castell markers, man. Yeah, the Faber Castells are dope. They're really nice. They match up well with the marker you use. If I had used Copics, it would look completely different. It wouldn't
Yeah,
look that way.
I honestly just because I was crunched with time, but I was literally trying to mimic the effect that you gave it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So
the Faber Castells are great for that effect, man. They are really great. They're underrated. Faber Castell's underrated.
I even added those little splash of white that you did. You know,
I
the little line.
Yeah, that's an easy marker. That's the Molotov white, the Molotov white. I do love some Molotovs. So Molotovs, I think, are overrated, but I love them.
So, since we're talking about tools, man, let's get into that segment. It's time for Josh's tools. This is where we talk about the artist and their tools, man. What's your go-to right now, man?
My go-to, I mean, outside of the gouache, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm like markers, I use Copics most of the time. Like that's what's on my desk. But I started off drawing. I was using the Faber-Castells. So I'm probably not a great person to like model after because I'm an art teacher. I have access to materials and I willy nilly spend money on materials that you shouldn't probably do. That like people probably do. I just buy what I want. But my go-to materials are probably going to be these Posca pens. I use those. I use the white for these. My favorite pen is this Karatega. It's a brush pen. This thing is amazing. And they come in sets of 2, and they're only like $10. But I use this for lining a lot of the time because I have a certain like look for the lines that I use, and I really like this. So the brush pen is probably my big one. And then aside from that, yeah, I use Copic markers a lot. I use Poscas a lot too. I actually want to get a lot better with using Posca pens. That's like a goal of mine. I want to get like some of these guys who are able to like do shadow and color with paint markers just so effectively. I envy them.
Oh, word. I mean, take a look at some of the like this here, dude.
Oh yeah, that was
That's
guap.
sick.
That was guap.
That's that's that Alex Ross right there, man.
Yeah, I that was one of my first gouache paintings this summer. Was that Cyclops? I love like shading and shadow and light. Like that's my jam. Like it's something that I did learn really early on and how to do it. It's kind of why I like markers so much. Is markers make it really it's just fast. It's even faster than pencil.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've said that many times. I mean, I think every tool has its time or place. You know what I mean? But for the most part, markers are gonna beat color pencillist any day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean I'm a big marker is I don't know, it's just something I love about it. And Copics probably were the markers that brought out what I love about markers the most because they have so many colors. Like so many colors and how the way that their system works and how grays can be laid under a color or over a color to get your tones. So like they do a good job um, with their markers and their system of replicating what you could do with a pencil and
Hmm.
with a paintbrush. So I'm definitely a Posca fan. I mean, I am definitely a
Marker.
fan of the Copic markers. So I think they do a good job.
Yeah. You know, NES Sega says faster. Yeah, I would say faster than a color pencilist,
Oh, definitely
simply because
color pencil.
you know,
Yeah.
well, and especially the color pencils that I like. When I lay on color pencils, I like it to be that rich tone colors and stuff. So I mean, you're gonna be there all day. You know, I
Yep.
I'm I'm pretty sure I could do whatever I could do in a color pencil. I could cut it at least down a half if I do it with marker.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with you on that. I'm in agreement with you, and I can do quite a bit of detail in a sticker, but I've gotten so comfortable with markers that I don't know. Most stickers will take me a couple hours.
You ever you ever do multimedia? Mix them up?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I almost sent you a multimedia sticker. I was like struggling with exactly what to send, but I've done a couple of multimedia stickers. it's funny. I think that like people who come from an art background appreciate multimedia stickers more than people who come from like a street art or graph background. Sometimes, sometimes they'll look at it as kind of crafty, but I still like it. I like the multimedia stuff.
Oh yeah, me and I was talking to my brother. I was showing him the sticker packs, and there's some that I was like, man, how did he get this texture? And it's like,
Yeah, texture's my thing. I love texture. I think that you should be able to touch art, and if you touch it, it should be like more interesting because you're touching it than it is if you look
mm,
at it. Like it should appeal to more than one sense.
no
And
word.
I like that because I teach kids who not always love art, but if you can do that for them, if you can make something that they can touch and that like changes their world more than just by looking at it, then the way that they vibe with it is completely different after that. There we go.
And once again, say, NES Vegas is multimedia. Yeah, multimedia would be something like, for example, would be if I do a piece in, let's say I do a piece in marker, alcohol marker. Uh, I might not have the proper tone to do a shadow, so I'll grab a colored pencil, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I'll go over it, in tone. And that's multimedia. That's using different media, more than one medium. You know what I mean? So it could be anything. It could be you could go over with marker and then go over with acrylics. Start with acrylics and then fine line it.
Yep.
Possibilities are endless, man. So and then we got people like, for example, Gutter Baby. Shout out to her. She be man. She's a multimedia master, dude. You know what I mean? So
Saw that piece that she did in the competition with
that
the
that that ended me, dude. She murdered me. She took me out with that. That was dope, dude.
yeah, that was dope.
That was dope, dude.
That was
I was like, I'm I'm not even crying about that, man. That well deserved.
yeah. I'm working on a thing for NES right now. I'm gonna show it to him because it's I think it's done.
What about man? You know what? Honestly, time is getting close to the end here, man. You want to stick around a little bit longer, or
Hey,
you
we can
got
stick.
time for that, or maybe?
We can definitely stick around. There's one of the
Uh,
benefits of being on summer vacation is I don't have to like wake up and stuff. See, here we go. Look, S it's for SNES. I think it's going to him. Just finished it.
yes.
He saw the sketch, but he knows I'll send him a picture. This is the version of it. This probably done. I think it's done.
Oh man, that brings me. I love that you said that, bro. That brings me into an awesome question that I had, dude. That we, as an artist, whoever's an artist that you got to deal with, you know. So that is, how do you know when your piece is done?
You know, in this portrait class that I took to like reintegrate myself to portraiture, they had a really simple rule, and like it helps a lot when you're painting. It's like you know when something is done if everything that you're doing to try to change it makes it worse.
Mm,
It's right. And sometimes you have to just look at what your intention was when you started it. Like if your intention was to make something photorealistic, cool. Then like try to make it photorealistic. But if your intention was to like do an interpretation of something and you're struggling at the very end now because the hair isn't right, then you're probably done. Like just look at what your goal was. Once you've achieved your goal,
excuse me.
that's it. Once you've achieved your goal, you're done. But you just kind of have to set a goal. Otherwise, you're just aimlessly working on something, and it's just not going to be right because you haven't determined what it meant for something to be right. But for me, it's done when I start making changes to it, and I just can't get something right, something small, and everything that I'm doing is making the thing worse. It's done. Like
Hmm.
it's okay. It's not perfect, Nothing is ever perfect, but it's done, and you kind of just have to be happy with, or not be happy with, what you created and move on to the next thing. Like, just try to take a step back and see what you learned from the thing that you did. And as long as you learn something, you can kind of be happy with that, even though it might not be perfect or the way that like I really want. Like this Akuma, it's not what I thought it was gonna be when I set out to do it, but it's done.
There you go. Um, when you're not drawing, what are you doing, man? Any other hobbies?
Oh man, yeah, I have to be better about like letting myself not draw. Um, I if I end up like giving a quick little tour or something, you see the room down here is a game room, and like if I had to do it all over again, it probably would be an art studio, but it's a game room, and so I try to give myself grace to like go and play. My son loves being in that room, so I'm in there a little bit more now. But gaming is a big one. Like I have a room dedicated to games, so uh,
Oh, yeah.
so so gaming is probably the other thing that I'm not doing. But now because I'm older and taking care of myself, partly with some advice from SNES, I do a lot more yoga now. I do a lot more exercising. I used to lift weights a lot. I just got away from it. So I try to balance myself out. I'm spending time with my wife, my son, playing games or like doing some yoga or something like that.
Dope. How do you feel about artists being able to take criticism, man?
I mean, I try to only surround myself with people that I want to talk to. And so generally I think the people that I surround myself with are people who are honest with me, and they generally want me to be honest with them. Like it's cool that like 90% of the people when you do something will be like, that's dope. And that's cool. They're probably not lying. But really there's also a lot of like benefit to having some people who like super nest. Like if I post something in our like little group chat, sometimes he'll be like add a highlight to it. And I'm like, damn, he right. I need to add a highlight to this. Or there's a couple other Instagram like artists who I'll send something to, and like I sent a painting to dude. I was like, I just put it there, and he was like, your colors are like way off. No compliment, no nothing. He was just like, colors way off. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. So I mean, I think most people on Instagram are going to surround themselves with people who perform a function for them that they want performed. Um,
Yeah,
so it's just that way. Like I think after you build a relationship with people, you know what people like. You can give feedback to if you want to give them feedback. Most people don't post stuff and they're like, "Can you give me some feedback?" That isn't why they posted it. so so
no way.
I think people handle criticism well, but I think that they're not asking for criticism when they post their stuff. Most people are not. Most people are just asking for some validation on the work that they did. And if they want criticism, they'll send you a DM and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Because I do that a lot to people, to a lot of my friends. I'm like, "What do you think about this? Did I use the right colors here? What do you think about this? What do you think about that?" So I think there's a lot of people who want good feedback on the work that they're doing because they want to do great work. And I love it when people ask questions. A lot of people want to know like how you get to a point where you're able to make like really detailed work on slaps and how do you do this and how do you do that. And like I think that's great to have like discourses like that.
Yeah,
But the place to have that is probably not after someone posts something in there and they just want to share it with people. They're not really. That's not the. That's. I don't think that's what they were looking for when they did it.
okay.
Yeah, but I think when people ask for it, they want it. But you know, they're not always asking for it. So I think, you just have to know that and know who you're talking to when you decide to offer someone feedback.
But aside from offering it, um, taking the criticism, oneself actually being able to take it, because I come across artists where, you they ask for help, or you try to give them you try to be helpful, and it just totally backfired. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh man, they kind of like got butthurt over it, and it's like, well, I mean, it's part of it. It's part of the process. I mean, people called me out, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
I think it's more of a mindset. I mean, in my opinion,
It is.
it's
It
more,
is
yeah.
more. It's definitely more of a mindset. There are people who can get their feelings hurt on things. I definitely got my feelings hurt on some things early on. I think early on, but I think you're right about mindset. Mindset's really important, and like just having the mindset that like every every as an artist, everyone is really different and talented in what they do, and like that's what makes art beautiful. Is that like we can all draw Ninja Turtles, and they're all gonna look different. And
Oh
like
yeah.
I might be vibing the way you drew it, and you might be vibing the way that I drew it. But I did, there's still people gonna be butthurt over stuff. Some people who are just like really talented or want to really get into a space where it's a competitive thing, and like nobody's perfect. No, not everybody learned
No,
perspective. Everybody learned color theory. So and yeah, there's some people that are super talented and they don't take feedback well, and
let me address NES, man. I mean, you're on it here. So, he says he doesn't take criticism well just from the crew. Fuck the rest. Well, yes, because there is a point. Obviously, I mean, if I get somebody who doesn't draw, or and tries to tell me something, it's like, well, it goes in one ear, not the other. I don't really care. I think taking in criticism is, when I say taking in criticism, I'm generally talking about artist to artist. You know what I mean?
yeah, but I think like as someone who teaches art to kids and people who are learning how to draw, even people who draw have their mentality sometimes. Those kids only want feedback from the kids who draw well. And I'm like, look,
Mm,
you don't have to draw well to give good feedback.
that's
Like,
true.
you don't. And actually, sometimes drawing well will get in the way of you being able to like accept and see things that someone who struggles with drawing can see. And so like you can look, you can it's like a wise saying about like listen to the message and not the messenger. Like
Mm.
some people are gonna kids are really good for feedback actually. They're real good. Because if you draw
They're
something
brutal.
and it's not right, if it's just not right some way, they're gonna look at the thing that's not right. Bobby
It's
saying that
brutally honest.
nose. How come the nose look like that? And you're like, yeah, man, I know it's not right. It's well, you gotta fix it. Like it ain't right. I'm like, man, you couldn't have just stuff like
Like,
no,
Dad, that doesn't look right. Like,
yeah,
damn, you're
kids are
right.
great at that, man. Kids are super great because if you can be around like a bunch of kids and like show them your work, they, I have a different perspective. If I can be around kids, then you can be around anybody because kids have no filter, and regular
Oh
adults.
no, not at all. Well, that being said, man, we're coming on to 30 seconds of the show. You guys are on with the talented Mr. D. Make sure you guys are following. Hey, man, you mind if we take a quick 15 and then be back on? I gotta take care of some business, and then we'll start off the next show with.
Oh yeah,
You guys
yeah,
might
yeah,
have seen something.
sure, let's do it. Yeah, I'll pop back on 9:15.
Yeah, 15 minutes, man. I got to go and take care of a client really quick.
Cool.
So, sounds good, Mr. D. Go follow. Come back in 15. We'll be back, y'all. Peace.
All right.